Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. He went into a tunnel and squeaked through his funnel and never came out again. The engine's name is Henry. His driver and fireman argued with him, but he would not move. The rain will spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes, he said. The conductor blew his whistle until he had no more breath and waved his flag until his arms ached, but Henry still stayed in the tunnel and blew steam at him. I'm not going to spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes for you. Then along came Sir Topham Hatt, the man in charge of all the engines on the island of Sodor. He was nicknamed the Fat Controller. We will pull you out, said Sir Topham Hatt. But all Henry did was blow steam at him. Everyone pulled except Sir Topham Hatt, because, he said, my doctor has forbidden me. But still Henry stayed in the tunnel. Then they tried pushing from the other end. So Topham Hatt said, 1, 2, 3, push. But he didn't help. My doctor has forbidden me to push, he said. They pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. Then Thomas came along. Everyone argued with Henry. Look, it stopped raining, they said, looking up at the sky. Yes, but it will begin again soon, said Henry. And what will happen to my lovely green paint with red stripes then? Thomas pushed and pumped and pushed as hard as ever he could. But still, Henry stayed in the tunnel. Thomas then had to go. Eventually, even Sir Topham Hatt gave up. We shall take away your rails, he said, and leave you here until you're ready to come out of the tunnel. Or maybe you can just take your coaches and build a wall in front of here. They took away Henry's coaches and built a wall in front of him so that other engines wouldn't bump into him. All Henry could do was to watch the trains rushing through the other tunnel. He was very sad because he thought no one would ever see his lovely green paint and red stripes again. As time went on, engines would pass by. Some of them would say, beep, beep, hello. And others would say, peep, 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 serves you right. Poor Henry, on the other hand, had no steam to answer. His fire had gone out. Soot and dirt from the tunnel had spoiled his lovely green paint with red stripes anyway. How long do you think Henry will stay in the tunnel before he overcomes his fear of the rain and decides to journey out again? Gordon always pulled the big express. He was proud of being the only engine strong enough to do so. He was full of important people, like Sir Topham Hatt, and Gordon was seeing how fast he could go. Hurry, 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 he said. Chickadee-chock, 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 said the coaches. In a minute, Gordon would see the tunnel where Henry stood bricked up and lonely. Oh dear, thought Henry, why did I worry about rain spoiling my lovely coat of paint? I'd like to come out of the tunnel. But Henry didn't know how to ask. I'm going to poop at Henry, said Gordon. He was almost there when, whoosh, and there was proud Gordon going slower and slower in a cloud of steam. His driver stopped the train just outside the tunnel. What has happened to me? Asked Gordon. I feel so weak. You've burst your safety valves, the driver. You can't pull the train anymore. Oh dear, thought Gordon. We were going so nicely, too. Look, there's Henry, laughing at me. Everyone came to see Gordon. Said Sir Topham Hatt. These big engines are always causing me trouble. Send for another engine at once. While the conductor went to find one, the uncoupled Gordon, who had enough puff to slink onto the siding, out of the way. Edward was the only engine left. I'll come and try, he said. Said Gordon. That's no use. Edward can't push the train. Edward coupled up to the back anyway. He pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed as hard as he could, but he couldn't move the heavy coaches. I told you so, said Gordon. Why not let Henry try? Yes, said Sir Topham Hatt, I will. Will you help move this train, Henry? He asked. Oh, yes, sir, replied Henry. Soon he was free and he puffed out of the tunnel, but he was covered in cobwebs. Oh, crap, I'm stiff, he groaned. Have a run to ease your joints, and find a turntable, said Sir Topham Hatt. When Henry came back, he felt much better. Then they coupled him up. Peep, peep, said Edward, I'm ready. Peep, 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 said Henry, so am I. Pull hard, we'll do it, pull hard, we'll do it, they said together. We've done it together, said Edward and Henry. You've done it, hooray, sang the coaches. Everyone was excited. Sir Topham Hatt leaned out of the window of his coach in order to wave at Edward and Henry. But the train was going so fast his hat blew off into a field where a goat ate it for tea. At last they approached the station at the end of the line. The passengers all said thank you, and Sir Topham Hatt promised Henry a new coat of paint. On their way back, Edward and Henry helped Gordon back to the shed. All three engines are now great friends. Henry doesn't mind the rain now. He knows that the best way to keep his paint nice is not to run into tunnels, but to ask his driver to rub him down when the day's work is over.